So Mahen is psyching himself up for the event where he'll see, I believe, about 55 girls racing in electric carts. What do you have to say for that, Mahen?
Well, I'm super excited. This is the first time I'm at an event of this nature where only females are taking part, and it's quite interesting because it's the third event in this kind of series, and we're super excited to cover this.
Yeah, I mean, let's go and have a chat with the founder, the girl who made it all happen, Mahen.
Let's do that.
Hi. In almost all countries around the world, ladies participate in motorsport at some level. But how is the case in Sri Lanka? Mahen, can you name me a female racing driver in Sri Lanka?
Well, that's a tough one.
And that's the point. That's why we are going to have a chat with Jorgina Wijayawardhana today, who's going to tell us all about Girls on Wheels.
Hi.
So, hi Jorgina. We are very excited to be here, and thank you for having us here. So Jorgina, tell us a bit about what inspired you to have an event like this.
Okay, so I have a podcast called Jorgy's Stripping the Tipping. That is the first Sri Lankan motorsport podcast, and that is the only podcast in Sri Lanka where we have been interviewing people from Formula One to IndyCar, NASCAR, GT World, and all the international platforms. So one of the key questions that I keep getting asked by all these high-profile people, they don't know that we exist, so they ask what Sri Lanka is, and whether we are a part of India.
Oh wow!
So I wanted to change that.
Right.
And also I've seen many of these people who come there, they already know the existence of the sport since their childhood, and they know the opportunities that they can have as well. It's all sorted. It's just a matter of choice that they have, whether to get in or not. But in Sri Lanka, it's not the case. It's not accessible to everyone, and since it's very limited, and most of the people don't know the existence of the sport itself. So I wanted to change that, and I wanted to start Girls on Wheels here, so that the girls get the opportunity of knowing the industry as an industry, and they can make their choices whether to get in or not, and also to show the global platform, and to all those people who kept asking us the question, to show what Sri Lanka is and what sort of opportunities and talent that we hold here.
I see. That is very interesting and inspiring as well, Jorgina. Thank you for doing this. I think our country needs it, and I think it's a great platform to take to the global stage as well. So just tell us a bit about your background as well, Jorgina. Are you also into karting? This is an electric version of the normal go-kart. So what got you into something like this? Do you also do that?
Yeah, so I am into karting, but I'm not a racer.
Right.
So that's the exact point that I want to prove to these girls as well. If I can't be a racer, if I'm not a racer and still be a part of the industry, then so can you. And also the reason that I chose the electric karting track is it's electric. So for a starter, that petrol vibration, the whole thing, they won't be getting it, so they don't get scared. And it's very easy pick up. So that's one point as well. And the track is very small, so for an amateur, it's very easy for them to get the whole hang of it. So that's the whole reason that we have come here, and it's much more affordable for them to get onto the track and try it out as well.
I see. That is very important as well. I think, Jorgina, to get into something, I think you need to feel a little comfortable as well. I think you're kind of setting the stage for the girls to kind of feel a little more comfortable, and hats off to you. This is the third event in the series, and we're super excited to see how it pans out as well, and we're happy to be here from our channel RevMatch, and do let us know a bit about what you do as well in terms of you have a podcast and a few other things, so let our viewers also know what you do.
Of course. So I have a podcast called Jorgy's Stripping the Tipping. It has a YouTube channel for Sri Lankans to check it out, and it's all available on the other podcast platforms as well. And we have a channel called Wheel Talk With Jorgy, where we are trying to show off the Sri Lankan automotive industry to the global platform, to showcase our talents and our country for them as well. And I am a media person personally, so this is what I'm good at.
That's very good.
I combined both the passion and the work that I used to do, and then came up with this whole idea.
Awesome, Jorgina. I think that's a win-win as well. Ashok, what do you think?
Well, it certainly is a win-win. I mean, you're doing something great here, and we're really happy that we can also, in some small part, do a part in publicizing it to the broader public. So there you are. if you're a lady and if you want to get into racing or just get behind the wheel of a cart or just see what the Sri Lankan automotive scene is like, don't be scared. Just get in touch with her, because this is probably the most friendly, approachable and accessible way that you can experience what was very historically a male dominated world, but it is not the case now. I mean, women have been racing for a very long time. I'd say over 60 years probably. And even in Sri Lanka, we have had a few lady racers over the times. I mean, a very famous one I can think of is actually, I think it's Donald Fernando's wife, if I'm not mistaken, Vagdevi Fernando, who actually raced in none other than a Jaguar E-Type, and that car still exists to this day, by the way. So,
He got the answer.
Yes, yeah, I failed.
but then I am an auto journalist. I have to know these things. If I don't, it's So yeah, you can see that even in Sri Lanka there has been a smattering of women racing, but I think Jorgy wants to make that much more than a smattering, right?
Yes, I want it to be very accessible and for them to make the choice of whether they want to be a part or not. I don't think we have the right to make a decision on behalf of others.
No,
they have
we
to
don't.
make their choice, not us. So yes, let's go get it.
Yay. Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Georgina.
Thank you so much for coming today here as well.
Thank you for having us. Okay, great. I think that's great. And
So Mahen, we have Abhit Dangalla, who is a renowned SLGT class racer in Sri Lanka. He's doing a track walk.
Right.
Our track walk is very important. You'll see even in Formula 1 they do it, walk or cycle, because it helps you get a perspective of the circuit at a slow pace. So you can absorb a lot of things, like for example where your braking points are, the elevation changes, camber, and the way the curves may suddenly tighten or they may suddenly open up. So a track walk is incredibly important. And I think it's also probably one of the things that many people forget about. I mean, for example, let's say we go karting for fun. Many people wouldn't do a track walk or even have a look at the track map that many karting circuits offer.
I
But
agree.
it's something you should do. And in fact, I remember in Bandaragama those days when they had the old track, there was a layout of the track and somebody had actually drawn what's called the racing line on it. So those who wanted to up their game would always go and look at that board and have a look at that racing line and see, okay, this is how I should take this corner, this is how I should flow into the next corner, that kind of thing. A lot of people just pass that board by. So that's a little tip for you. If you're doing racing at some level, try to get a perspective of the track that is not from behind the wheel of a vehicle.
I agree. Very valid points, Asha.